I've got some brand new watercolour brushes, and in today's video I'm going to test them whilst painting these snowy berries. Now today's project is some red berries with some snow on them. However, I'm going to be using some different brushes today. These are these are ones by Golden Maple, or Golden and Maple it's got on there, as you can see. And these are Kolinsky Sable brushes. And they're the ones in question. Now, just out of interest, these are apparently birchwood handles with a nickel ferrule, and also, as I say, they're Sable, so Kolinsky Sable. And they've sent me sizes 00, 2 and 4. And as you can see, they seem quite slender. The plastic cover on there just to keep the bristles nice and tidy in transportation. Now these range from a size 000, I believe, something like that, all the way to a size 8. Not big brushes, but I mean big enough for the kind of work I do. And they range in price from the 000 from something like £9 to about £34 at the time of recording this video. Kind of give us some ideas of what they are anyway. So let's see how well these work while I'm painting this little picture of some red berries with some snow on them. Oh, why not? Something like that. And I think I'll wet this probably a couple of times. While that water's soaking in, I'll be using the size 4 from my box of brushes here, lot. And give that one a try. Now, take that plastic cover off the bristles. Now, they always use adhesive of some form within the bristles, keep them kind of nice and straight and pointy during transportation as well. And that can be something like the binder which they use within paints. For example, they do sometimes use that as a means of a sort of a water dissolvable adhesive. So give a really good rinse out before you use it. And that applies to all new brushes normally. Okay, let's go for it. So the first one we're going to go for is that mauve. I'll put that in around here to begin with. One that's quite random, to be honest with you. Not too thick, not too strong. I'm not going to go too far out either, as I mentioned. I'm just going to go probably to about maybe around here. Bit of water. Thin this out just a fraction more there, lot. Something like that. I'm going to go straight into the indigo. Right, here we go. Here we go, indigo. And we'll pop that one in as well. I do find while I'm using the size 4 brush, so the balance of this brush is quite good in the hand, as well as it's not too heavy, it's not one-sided, because some brushes I find can be a little bit too weighted on one end. So depending on where you hold it down the length of the brush, depends on the balance you're going to get from that brush. Okay, maybe a little bit of the burnt sienna now. I'm not bothering to wash the brush out in between colours here, because we want to mix on the paper anyway, aren't they? Just a little bit here and there, not all over it though. Just to kind of vary them colours. Okay, I'm going to switch now to my other brush out of those 3 new ones I've got. Size 2. So let's give this one a try, shall we? And see how fine I can go with such a fine tip brush. It's not a bad little tip on this actually, is it? Probably to about there will do. Okay, I'm going to rinse that brush out. I'll just try this brush out first. It might be a little bit big for me on here. And you can actually use a damp clean brush now just to lift a little bit of paint off in places. Let's do a few of these berries with the size 2 for now. Then I will switch to that size 00 I've got as well. But so far the actual paint holding properties of these brushes are really good. Quite impressed really, I must admit. So I'm going to work my way down through all these berries doing the same thing, okay? And I think probably halfway through I'll switch to my other brush, that other new brush which is still in my box here, look, the size 00. I mean, so far, you know, looking at these brushes, it's doing really well. The spring back on these is very good actually. When you pull away from the paper, it goes straight back to that little point, which is really good. I mean, that's what I like about anything like these sort of brushes, really. It's difficult to say how long the tip will last, you know, because I do wear the tips away on brushes very quickly indeed. And that's the reason why I very often just buy cheap brushes as well. Otherwise, I'm wasting lots and lots of money on expensive brushes which don't last me 2 minutes. For me, it could be time more than anything. How long will they last over time? And that will only show when I start working with these, when I'm painting wildlife paintings, when I'm working with thousands of hairs. That's when I'll know if they're going to work or not. I know. Okay, now the top area is dried. So just see how well it works with a smaller brush now, which is the size I would normally use. Too much paint there, Paul. As I did say that these have got good water holding properties, so So I think that proved it then. Actually, we had lots of paint there. So bring that all the way down to there. Nice fine tip on this, I must admit. Well, I think that will do for this first layer. What we're going to do, leave it to dry now. When we come back, we'll fine tune all of these berries up a little bit more using the size 00 from the set. Now this is where I can really test this brush out. This is at size 00. Well, I want to make sure that it's going to produce all the fine detail that I need. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, is that it depends on how many lines I make, depends on how long these brushes will last. You know, because I know that some brushes don't last that long when I'm painting, well, thousands of lines when I'm working on a wildlife painting, for example. This sort of painting, not too bad. So when you're working with a fine detail brush, is it going to maintain that point? That's the question. Will it wear down really quickly? Now we know that these bristles are Kolinsky Sable, so we know they're quality bristles, and with all intents and purposes, they should last really well. But as per usual, only time will tell. I have found that holding this brush is fine. It's nice and lightweight, which is really good. Also, the feel of it is really nice because I tend to hold the brush just above that metal ferrule, because that's where I tend to finally get the detail from more than anything. If I hold the brush further along the handle, then therefore it's going to be much more of a looser feel to it. And when I'm working on this part of the branch, I'm sort of scumbling, so I'm not overloading that brush. So all I'm doing is just dabbing the tip of the brush into the paint, that's all, just the very tip of it. And just kind of using the side of the brush to add the colour on for the twigs. All them highlights within the twigs that's just appearing, that's just masking fluid. That's all it is, of which I'll remove shortly. Oh, and by the way, the full video tutorial for this snowy berry is now available on my online school. Have a look at the link in the description down below. But even when I'm applying this watercolour white for these highlights, you know, for the snow effects, I do find that the tip is holding its point, which is really good. And I know that watercolour white very often, in my case, can damage the brushes, can ruin them. So what I really want to test out with this brush is how fine a point can we go. So I'm just trying to apply this to the edge of the berry at the moment. Looking at the way that the paint goes onto the paper. Is it going on in a fine line? Is it going on too thick? You know, this can also depend obviously on how much paint you got on the brush tip. So always make sure that I tap some of the paint off first of all if you want to maintain a fine line with a brush such as this one here. Otherwise you tend to find that your fine lines tend to be a little bit on the old thick side. So there you go, that's 3 different brushes, tried and tested from Golden Maple. There's 00, the 2 and the size 4. I've got on with them really well actually, I'll be honest with you. Because you never know, do you, until you play with them and have a go. If you'd like to learn more about the brushes which I like to use, then head to the video to the top right. I'll see you there.